Here we are on Which Motorhome's largest ever group test of motorhomes. We've got 15 vans here. They're all long wheelbase high top motorhomes, and they're all based on the Seville van. That's the Peugeot, Citroën or Fiat van that comes out of the factory in southern Italy. There's slight mechanical differences between the Peugeot Citroën version and the Fiat in terms of the engines offered, and only the Fiat comes with automatic, but they're all 6 metres long, so they're all practical for everyday use and taking on ferries in terms of extra cost for longer vehicles. But the various permutations in terms of layout are quite fantastic. There's fixed beds, rear lounges, front lounges. There's a whole variety of choice here. This is the Autocruise Rhythm. Autocruise are part of the Swift Group and #1 now in high top van conversion sales, and this is probably their most popular model. It's a rear lounge layout specifically for 2 people, but it offers lots of space. So let's go and have a look. It's not hard to see why this layout's popular. With these 6-foot long settees, there's plenty of space, and on a summer's day you could swing these back doors open and enjoy the view. At night you've got the choice of instant single beds just by taking these backrest cushions away, or you can pull the 2 bases, seat bed bases together and make a ginormous double. New this season are these high gloss white locker doors, which they've used both in the kitchen area and above the rear lounge. In the washroom there's a new drop down wash basin which frees up a bit more space for showering, and it is quite a clever design, much better than tip up wash basins of the past. In the cab both seats swivel, and it's a nice area perhaps to have a morning look at the newspaper while your partner's still asleep at the back, but no table, and it's a limited area in terms of lounging. Murvi sell direct to the public from their base in Devon, and they may not be the largest converter, but they have won more awards than just about anybody else. This Morello is their top selling model, and it's the one that's claimed most of those awards. So let's go and see why it's so popular. With the big full height sliding door open, sitting on this lovely L-shaped settee or in one of the swivel cab seats, you've got a great view out of your surroundings, and on a summer's day that's what it's all about. And it's not hard to see why the sort of bespoke build of Murvi is so popular. You can have vast choice of fabrics, different carpets and so on. You're really bespoke in terms of the decor. Different colours for the cabinets too, but it's this layout that makes the Morello so popular, and just the feeling of space. You'd swear you were in a bigger vehicle than most of the others here. That feeling of space extends to the kitchen area too. Just look at the amount of worktop here. There are many much larger coach-built motorhomes that can't get near this level of cupboard and worktop space. In the back here, this one's got an eye-level microwave, but you've got various choices in terms of fridge size. You can have an oven, you can do without the microwave. It's again down to your personal preferences. The washroom behind me in the back corner is neat too, with a fixed corner basin. So if you've been out walking or you've got a muddy dog, you can come in through the back doors and get all cleaned up before you go out into the nice carpeted lounge area. Pilote are one of the longest established imported marques of motorhome in the UK, but they're not known for van conversions. This F600 DGA therefore is a relative newcomer to the market, but it's got a very conventional fixed bed layout. It's the first of our fixed bed versions here. It's very popular on the continent, so let's see what the the European take is. Like most of the imported vans here, this French Pilote has the sliding door on the continental side, despite the fact it's got right-hand drive. But that really doesn't make a great deal of difference unless you're parking in the street in town. On a campsite it makes no difference at all. The layout's quite conventional. You've got this half dinette seating area here, which works quite well, and there's a little swivel out extension to the table. There's a neat extension flap on the kitchen to give you a bit more worktop, and it's a practical arrangement. But it's at the back that the Pilote really scores, with a fold away bed arrangement and masses of space to carry bikes and barbecues and God knows what. There's a nice feeling of quality about this Pilote, from the sliding wash basin in the bathroom to these positive locking catches, and the general feeling of solidity to the furniture. But it's this arrangement at the back, which isn't unique, but has been quite well done here, that will appeal to people with mountain bikes and lots of outdoor gear. Just fold the bed away like that and look how much space you've got. You've got this flap here that will come across too and stop things sliding forward while you're travelling, and there's a bit of storage space on either side as well. It's not often in this industry that somebody comes up with a completely new layout, but Horizons have done just that with this Ikon. It's a mid-lounge layout with the bathroom at the back and the kitchen forward between the lounge and the cab. So let's see why that works. Again, there's a good feeling of space in this Ikon, and at the back there's plenty of room in the washroom too. With the wardrobe in the back corner, it makes it into a changing area as well. Cleverly, they've blocked off the back doors, which gives you lots of storage for your outdoor chairs, hook-up lead, levelling wedges, all that sort of thing, all the stuff that you don't want cluttering up the interior of your motorhome. This lounge area is quite comfortable for two, but it could be a bit more softer, a bit more inviting to lounge. It's good for dining, and the bed makeup's easy too. You just slide the two seats together, but again, a bit firm for comfort at night. Then up front, you've got another seating area if this is made into the bed. We'll show you that now. If your partner's still in bed or asleep at the back, you can add a coffee table here, and there's plenty of room to sit, and you've got a nice view again out the sliding door. The kitchen area is impressive too. You've got this compressor fridge here and this large area of worktop, which is useful too if you're serving up maybe for meals outside. You can put your plates down here all ready to go, and your partner can take them and put them with the outdoor table. Plenty of storage, draining board on the big sink, but one or two little details like the way the sink lid clashes with the light are slightly disappointing, so hopefully they'll improve on that. But as a new concept, this is an interesting innovation. This is our value entry, the Tribute 669. It's imported by Autotrail from their sister company in Italy, another part of Trigano Group. But despite coming from Italy, it's got the sliding door on the UK side, and it's a conventional fixed bed layout, much like the Pilote that we looked at earlier. So let's take a look. There's no doubt that this Tribute is great value for money, and normally you'd probably be looking at second-hand vans as competitors to this, but it does feel all a bit confined. There's a general lack of storage and a lack of living space. We've spent quite a lot of time in this over the last couple of days, and you just feel it lacks space to live. The bed at the back here is lower than in most rivals, and that's because you can fit a second bed as an option above it using these mountings here. So you could have this as a four-berth with two kids sleeping on top, mum and dad underneath. Then if you want to go to the DIY store, load up with flat pack furniture, say, you can take all this out and either stack it up at one side or even leave it at home. And this centre bed base folds in half as well, or you can, as I say, you can just take it out. As with the Pilote, this is a French van from Rapido, who are better known for their coach builds. But this V53 instantly looks different because Rapido replaced the front bumper spoiler unit with their own design, so it doesn't look like a Fiat. It even says Rapido on the grille now. Inside it's another fixed bed layout, but with a different twist to the lounge area, so I'll show you that. This little seat here by the sliding door is the big difference, or the small difference that makes a big difference, and you can extend it too with this little jump seat on the end. It not only gives you a bit of room, especially when the sliding door's shut and you can use the door as a backrest, but if you want friends in, there's a bit more space. Even if there's just two of you on board, there's a general feeling that this is a more open lounge area than the other fixed bed vans. And then the kitchen's pushed further back, and it's got this little worktop extension like most of the rivals to give you a bit more preparation space. Critically, there's a bit more shoulder space here between the wardrobe and the washroom, where some of these vehicles feel very cramped. But despite that, the washroom area works quite well, and it's got a neat little corner hand basin. At the back here, the bed's, as you'd expect, a transverse double with the lockers above. In the latest versions, you can now fold up the rear bed arrangement to make a big van-like storage area, much like in most of its rivals. Now we have a German competitor to this Globecar Globescout RD style. Bit of a mouthful, but just look at it. It's got alloy wheels, the skirts around the front of the bumper and down the sides, and the rails along the roof that hide the vents and things on the top. So it's quite a dramatic looking vehicle. On the other side there's porthole windows too. So they've really gone to town with the looks of this vehicle. And inside too it's different, although with another fixed bed layout. So let's go and see what makes the Globecar different from its rivals. There's lots of nice touches about this Globecar, from the waste bag by the door, the familiar worktop extension here, but the kitchen's got lots of drawer space in big useful drawers. There are Remis blinds on the cab too, and there's a real feeling of quality, as perhaps you might expect of a German vehicle, but it really is living up to that Teutonic reputation. Washroom space can be a bit tight in this sort of layout, but not in the Globecar, because these tambour doors slide back, one there and another one here, to make the washroom expand into the gangway. The shower tray's hidden under this cover in the floor, so you've got lots of space, and there's a nice solid looking wash basin in the corner too. Then on this side, look at the angle here of the kitchen unit, which makes an illusion of more space. And the fridge is mounted up high, so you're not down on your knees to try and find the milk or the butter. Then there's a little oven mounted in here as well. And the bed area, much like its competitors, good size. You sleep across the vehicle again, and you can pack all that away onto this side of the vehicle for load carrying. But again, nice little touches like this step for easy access onto the bed. This is the Wildax Aurora, looking rather different in black paint and with a Citroën badge on the front. It comes out of the same factory as we've said, but the Citroën is basically the same as the Peugeot. Wildax say that they use the Citroën chassis because it gives them more specification on the base vehicle side. But on the layout, this one's got two lounge areas, one up front, similar to the fixed bed models, and a second one at the back. So it's quite a versatile design. Let's go and have a look and see how that works. Unlike, say, the Autocruise Rhythm, this lounge area at the back is a bit shorter, and you have to sleep across the vehicle in a transverse double bed. But it's still a nice, inviting place to sit and look at the world outside through the back doors. But the real advantage of this layout is that not only do you get the rear lounge, but you've still got travel seats up front for 4 people. So this is a vehicle that you could potentially go away with a couple of young children. If we have a look at the front of the vehicle now, you'll see that it has a lot in common with the fixed bed versions that we've already looked at. So you've got a half dinette up front, so still another four people can sit up here, so you could have 8 people sitting and having a chat in this vehicle in 2 separate areas if you wanted to. Kitchen, like on the fixed bed models, is built partly across the sliding door, but there's some nice touches like this slide out storage unit here, and further back a bit of extra worktop over the top of the fridge, which is quite a nice touch. Timber doors on the top lockers and on the bathroom here. So there's some nice touches in this vehicle. Devon are perhaps best known for their Renault Master conversions, but here's their Fiat-based offering, the Aztec. It's available in medium and long wheelbase. This is the long wheelbase version, and it's another rear lounge model, but rear lounge with a few little differences, as I'll show you now. Of all the rear lounge 2 berths, this Aztec makes the best use of the space up front. Like some of the others, both seats swivel, but having this flat area here in addition to the large worktop flap on the end of the kitchen means that there's plenty of room for a cup of coffee if you want to leave the bed made up at the back if one of you is still asleep, or if you just want to use the rather comfortable original Fiat cab seats. And not only that, but they've put a window here, just a nice little touch that lightens the front of the vehicle up a bit. The kitchen comes with a separate grill and oven, whereas some of the other rivals have a combined grill and oven unit, and there's 4 burners on the top too. But it's the back of the vehicle that makes the Aztec more special, if you like. These backrest cushions are a little bit low, but the wrap-around effect of the lounge gives it a more coach-built feel, a more traditional motorhome look to the lounge, if you like. But if you want to use the back doors, they're just 2 little slide away supports here, and that cushion just lifts out. Then you can open the back doors, use the access that way, or you could just put your back up here and look at the world outside through the rear doors. Autosleepers have been building van conversions in the UK for over 50 years, so there's no doubting the pedigree behind this Kemerton here. It's one of 3 models they now offer on the long wheelbase Peugeot Boxer, and this one, you can see, like Autosleeper's other van conversions, has the tinted thermic glass windows which give a nice automotive look down the side of the vehicle. They're single glazed, but they do fill out the sides better than the little plastic double glazed windows you see on most of the rivals. Inside, this one's a front lounge layout, which I'll show you now. Another 2 berth. This one's got a big lounge area up front with this settee here, and a single seat there with a seat belt, but with a rather short backrest, perhaps not a great seat for carrying passengers. Here you can mount a little coffee table up front, or there's a bigger freestanding table to use in the main seating area. Makes into a transverse bed that's a good width, but there's no single bed option in this particular vehicle. Where the Kemerton really scores is at the back of the vehicle, where you've got this expansive kitchen area, microwave mounted up high, an extractor fan over the cooker with oven and grill combined there. Fridge is on the other side with a nice big area of worktop, and the TV is neatly hidden away in that locker there. Then you get things like the little drying rack for your cutlery and a removable draining board. In the back of the vehicle there's a separate wet area on one side with the toilet on the other, the wet area having timber doors to enclose a nice good sized shower compartment with a wash basin in there as well. Vantage Motorhomes specialise in rear lounge 2 berths, and this is their Sol model on the Fiat Ducato long wheelbase. The products are well known for their build quality, and inside I'll show you some of that. The Sol's another U-shaped rear lounge model, so there's no access through the back doors on this one. But a new feature this year is these very neat bed bases, so you can make a vast double bed in this area or use it as 2 singles. The furniture's as nicely made as you'd expect from a company that has its roots in furniture making. You only have to look at the solidity of these units to see that they beat some of the others on sale here. Then there's a neat little corner here with TV and stereo built in and all the wiring nicely tucked away. Typical Vantage touch. The kitchen area uses the 3-burner hob and combined oven and grill that you'll see in many other motorhomes of this size. But there's a neat little touch, the pop-up power dock for your mains items. Little cover for your sink too, and a wash bowl incorporated as well, and the cab seats swivel, although there's not such a roomy feel as in the Devon Aztec here. The fridge is a big compressor model, which means there are no ugly vents on the outside, and compressor fridges get down to temperature nice and quickly and not so sensitive to being parked on an angle. The only downside is if you're away on rally fields away from mains hookup for long periods of time. Autosleepers offer various different metallic paint options on the outside, but apart from that, this Windrush looks very similar to the Kemerton that we viewed earlier. However, this one's a standout vehicle amongst all our rivals here because this one's a proper family motorhome with bunk beds at the back. Let's see how that's squeezed into a 6-metre motorhome. Up front, the Windrush has these 4 individual seats, 3 slots for the table, so various choices and permutations there. For travelling, you've got 4 belted seats, but the seat on the off side would be the preferred choice for any rear passenger. Perhaps that one would be better if you've got a young child in a car seat, so then the issue of it not being a very high backrest on the seat would be less of an issue. The rear seats in the lounge make into a transverse double bed, and quite a comfortable one too, but it's these bunk beds at the back that are really what the Windrush is all about. The bottom one is adult size, the top one a little shorter and a little bit more confined, but my own daughter slept in one of these and found it very cosy. The kitchen area is good too, with a nice worktop extension, removable draining board and an oven and grill. On the other side, a timber door makes access into the washroom very practical. You're not interfering with chef preparing dinner for the family. And in there, the sliding wash basin's a nice touch as well. But then this was our van conversion, high-top van conversion of the year in 2012. So you'd expect the Windrush to have a few tricks up its sleeve. Yorkshire-based Shire Conversions are a relatively new name in the market, having been making van conversions like this for about the last 4 years. This is their latest model, the Phoenix ML, ML meaning mid-lounge, so it's a concept similar to the one that we've seen from the Horizon's Ikon. But there are differences, particularly in terms of floor space, and I'll show you why. Shire are another company that offer myriad choice in terms of upholsteries, furniture colouring and so on. This rather Bentley-esque leather is a rather nice touch in the cab, and these cappuccino coloured kitchen doors are a welcome change from the wood everywhere of more traditional motorhomes. There's some nice touches like the little slide-up worktop, which in future will match the dark grey sort of slate coloured worktop above. Usual fittings otherwise, fridge with removable freezer compartment and the typical 3-burner and then combined oven and grill. The thing that's different really about this over the Horizons is this vast amount of floor space, because there's no unit built out across the sliding door. Your kitchen's all on this side. There is a worktop or table unit that just flips up, but imagine if you wanted to carry a large dog. There's plenty of space for your Labrador to stretch out here, and a lot of motorhomers are dog owners, so we can see the appeal of this sort of layout. This mid-lounge layout means that, again, the bedding arrangement is a transverse double, but this time unfortunately you need the table and bed boards to fill the gap between the two. Bit of an old-fashioned bed making principle, and one that we'd like to see updated. Also, the the access to the bathroom is fine if you're slim, but if you've put on a few pounds over Christmas it might be a bit tight for you. Interestingly, Shire are looking at a version of this with single beds by pinching a little space from the kitchen and extending the bed on one side into the bathroom area. This one does retain access through the back doors, but there are still storage areas for your outdoor chairs and so on behind the washroom. On the outside, this Accent looks much like the other Autocruise, the Rhythm that we looked at earlier, but this one is more of a slightly more family-friendly vehicle with two separate seating areas, much like the Wildax that we viewed. If we have a look now at the way Autocruise have done that, you'll see the differences between the two. Again, you see Autocruise's rather automotive style of fabrics and the modern high-gloss furniture. The floor in the back here is raised too, so there's a bit of storage underneath, but an unusual idea is not to fit a window on the near side, so either the rear lounge is more private and more intimate, or it's a bit dark and gloomy depending on your viewpoint. There's a bin on the end of the kitchen unit, and this folding worktop flap gives you a tiny bit more room, although the kitchen is quite confined. On the other side, the seat is nicely shaped for rear passengers, but that does mean that when you make it into a bed, which is probably at best a single or perhaps for two very young children, you do need some infill cushions to make up that bed, and of course those have to be stored somewhere. Washroom does have a nice practical tambour door though, and there's a fixed small basin in there, unlike the Rhythm, which has Swift's latest tip-up basin. Microwaves fitted as standard, but you might question the use of space when storage isn't overly generous, whether a cupboard might have been better there. Last but by no means least of our 15 high-top motorhomes is this Adria Twin GT, and there's no mistaking it. With bright orange metallic paint, 20-inch alloy wheels, it really does stand out, and the inside is just as subtle. The layout may be inherited from the standard Adria Twin, which really started the whole fixed bed in a van conversion phenomenon, but this GT is something else. Not only do you get this black and orange trim, part leather, part sort of Alcantara suede type material, but you get things like built into the dashboard there's a stereo with an inbuilt reversing camera, then there's a TV screen that pops down from the cab ceiling, another TV screen to watch from outside built into the side of the kitchen unit, and the furniture's all this modern grey and black effect. It just goes on and on. If you like a vehicle that really stands out, this is the one for you. Where else would you find a motorhome with an orange bedspread, lots of cushions, and most importantly, a TV at the foot of the bed with stereo speakers? But then, whilst the layout's conventional, there's nothing conventional otherwise about an Adria Twin GT.